Hi guys, my name is Sixtus Corey. They call me Rabbi. This is Bread of Life. Yesterday I made a video and the caption of the video was "Don't marry your best friend." Some people watched the video, some people didn't, and I'm sure it didn't sit well with a lot of people. But as I said yesterday, it's going to be like a series. So yesterday's one was number one. So we're going to do number two. So this one now is an addendum, a continuation of what we did yesterday. Don't marry your best friend. Maybe today's topic would be you cannot be best friends with someone of the opposite sex. Now we need to understand that the man and the woman are different emotionally, psychologically, physically, and otherwise. Yeah, we are human beings, but we are quite different. So the moment we understand these differences, the better for us. Yeah, because we can't keep mixing everything anyhow. Now, in terms of bestie, I was saying yesterday that you cannot be bestie with someone of the same sex with you. It can't just be possible. Yes, because the love that exists between you and your bestie is different from the love that exists between you and someone from the opposite gender, whether you call them bestie or not. Yeah, because number one, you cannot have sensual love with your same-sex bestie. You cannot have erotic love. It can never be eros. Eros came from the Greek word eros, which is or which was the Greek goddess of love. So you cannot have eros for your same-sex guy or your girl, your friend, unless the both of you are gays. Now that's a different thing. Now you people now are no longer doing bestie. You people are now in a relationship. So it's quite different. Now I'm talking about best friends, just the way David and Jonathan were best friends in the scriptures. The same way Christ and his apostles, even among his apostles, he had some closer ones, Peter, James, and John, especially John was very close to him. So we should understand this. Now, nobody's asking you not to marry someone you are friendly with. That was not the idea. You should marry is a good ingredient. Yeah, you're not going to marry your enemy. You're going to marry your enemy. You're going to marry your friend. But what we are saying is that is not the only criteria. And in our society today, we see people saying they are bestie. This is my bestie. And someone from the opposite sex. And it causes a lot of problems in relationships and all that. Yeah, because people go to cheat or to practice infidelity with someone they told you, we're their best friend or their bestie, and the person is from the opposite sex. So it's quite different. So the love you share here is different from the love you share here. That is why anytime you are with your supposedly bestie, who is someone from the opposite sex, anytime you guys take a step further and know each other, like sleep with each other, you people lose that friendship. You lose the friendship. You lose the bestie. You lose relationship. You will lose love. Everything will just die. This was somebody you are friends with, or you were deceiving yourself to be friends with. Now, you guys have done what the other type of love people are doing. Everything now crashes. Why? Because the both of you were not meant to be in the first place. Why? Because you guys took a love relationship, a kind of love here, and mixed it with here. It's called mix kobo, mix and kobo. Mix is English, kobo is Igbo. When you mix kobo something, you mix kobole something that is not supposed to be mix kobo or mix kobole in the first place. You can put gari and put sugar and mix kobole it. You can put gari and put water and mix kobole it. But you cannot put water and oil. It can't go. So, but if you try to force water and oil to mix, you're trying to mix kobo. You're trying to go extreme. So it's just like, it's something that is not possible. So that's it. Now, when you do that stuff with someone whom you said was your bestie, you find that everything dies. Both the friendship, the love, everything dies because it was not supposed to be in the first place. You used here and mixed here. Now, let me ask you, as a lady, can you share everything that happens to you with someone of the opposite gender, no matter who they are? Now everything where they do you, you feel share with person. You be man. No be everything. Even your papa self. You get as you go big, you no go tell papa. Maybe when you dey grow, you feel dey free to tell popsy, but you get age you go reach, you no go, because it's not necessary. Because your dad will not even understand it. Your dad will not even need the information. There's some things that will be going on in your body that you no go want tell them. So you be advised to seek help from your mom. If your mom is not around, you seek help from other older women in the family or older friends or relations. You know what I mean? Understand? Because it no go well. So that's it. So now as a girl, your bestie, remember, someone who's your best friend, you should be able to spend time with them, like from morning to night if possible. So if you're a girl and you have a bestie who is a guy, can the both of you be watching a fashion show or reading a fashion magazine for minutes, hours, and so? No, he's not going to be comfortable, no matter how close you guys are. As a lady, can you and your bestie watch all those Asian people's movies, the love movies and all that? Can the both of you sit down and watch those movies? The both of you cannot. You'll be comfortable, but he will not be comfortable. Now, as a guy, your so-called bestie who is a girl, can the both of you sit down, be drinking beer, and be discussing about football? No. No matter how she loves football, she'll be bored at a time. But even if a guy doesn't like football, he can sit with you guys and discuss. Even if he keeps quiet, but at least he'll be drinking, or he'll be looking at you and be laughing. So the two genders are not the same. So let's stop trying to use sentiments to. Yeah, nobody's asked you to marry your enemy. You're going to marry your friend, but friendship is not the only ingredient. Okay, let's even say it's possible. It's possible. Let's say it's possible to have a bestie who is from the other gender and you want to get married to them. Now, is it the only ingredient? It's not. A friend of mine contacted me that, yeah, his wife. I said, Baba, I know. Your wife is your friend. Your wife is your friend. You guys were close. You guys are still close till now. But, Oga, was it the only thing you saw before marrying her? It was not. It was not the only thing. Yeah, because there are other ingredients that should be attached to this. It's not only being friends with someone. For example, if you're an AS genotype person and your so-called bestie is an AS, are you guys going to get married? Because you guys are just friends. You guys are comfortable with each other. You guys are very close. Are you guys going to get married? No, you cannot get married. Because you're going to bring up children who are sick. That's number one. Number two, if you have anger issues and you get married to someone who and your supposedly bestie has anger issues, are you people going to get married? No. Being friends with someone is different from being compatible with someone. Yes, you can be friends with someone, your guy. If you're a guy, you have a guy, the both of you can have anger issues. How is not fight, and I go fight, and I go quarrel, everything go settle. But you can't do that with your wife or with your husband, with your spouse. You can't do that. So if the both of you have anger issues, are you still going to get married just because you guys are bestie? No, you guys are not compatible. Now so domestic violence is start. Now so it starts. Uncompatibility. Now so it starts. This one slap this one slap this one beat this one kick this one. This one give this person uppercut. This one give this person bicycle kick. And so it starts. So because you guys brought in something that aren't supposed to be brought in the first place. A round peg, a round pole, a round peg in a square hole, something like that. You're trying to mix things that are not supposed to be mixed. Number three, if you are poor and if you are broke and your bestie is broke, who is the opposite sex, are you still going to get married? Because when I hear say marry your best friend, this is what motivational speakers tell you. No, it's not the only. Let's say it's possible, man and woman, to be best friend, but it's not the only ingredient. So what's shocking you about it? So if you are poor, are you going to marry a poor spouse? So the both of you bring up children that you cannot raise. Worst case, if the both of you are church people, who in the church, understand? They've told you in church that God gives children. So the both of you go into the marriage broke. And you guys will keep having excessive children because they've also told you people in church that God trains children. All Chineke na azụ nwa. So Chineke now ga-enyere gị aka zụọ nwa gị, zụọ ụmụ gị. See, let me tell you something. In those days, it was even easier to raise kids because education was almost free. It was so free in those days. Yes. Days of our parents, our grandparents, it was free even when we are young and all that. At least mission schools then were as good as government schools. Government schools were as good as mission schools. Private schools and public schools were just good the same way. In fact, people didn't even attend private schools those days. It was more of the public schools because of the standard of the government schools were high, were good. But right now, it's quite expensive. This 21st century is quite expensive to get education. How can you go to Harvard? How can you go to Oxford? Those ones are even too large. It's quite expensive to get education. Now, because if you don't have money, your children won't get good education because it's difficult to get education. Coding. If you don't have money, you can't do coding. You can't. How can you? You can't do coding. Your children can't do coding. So when your kid can't do coding because you cannot afford coding or other online careers or professions, the child will now start teaching the child how to speak in tongues. Now where it will end, the child will now start speaking in tongues. The child will now start speaking in tongues. At 2 years, the child will start speaking in tongues and you'll be clapping for them. Now, in future, that child whom you taught how to speak in tongues will still go and beg that child that learned coding. Go and beg him for money. Go and beg him for money. So with that money, you are broke, your spouse is broke, you guys get married, and you guys will end up raising children who are going to be nuisance to the society. They're going to be criminals and hoodlums because of poor lifestyle, no education, no training, no nothing. You might even send them hawking. They'll go and hawk on the streets. When governments are taking out children from the streets, now your owner is now entering the streets with full force. Therefore, you've seen that this little advice you refuse to take now him don't go cause trouble in the next future, in the like 20, 30 years coming. This thing where you no agree here now, they tell you that you no agree here into a shege. And I'm working here now, you got no into a shege, ishike bogi. Ihe he may abandon now. Gaga make effect in the future. You start calling God, but He gave you the brain, He gave you the mind to know what is good for you. But it's all about emotions, sentiments. No, let's drop this. If we see a caption, let's read it. Let's read meaning into it. If we see a video, let's watch it. Even if it's a crazy video, let's pick one or two things from it. And if there's nothing to learn from the video, we just drop it and move on to the next. Let's stop judging everything with emotions. Let's read deep, read critically. The only thing we can read critically is Malachi 3:10, 3:8-10. That we can read, we can cry, in our head, we'll memorize them. But when the same we could learn, we'll not go learn. So it's not all about emotions. Nobody's asking you to marry your enemy. All we're saying is that a man and a woman cannot be besties. They are two different people. They cannot be besties. You're going to be a man is going to be with his bestie, a woman. Those some of them go inside house. Abi, they be sisters and brothers. They go inside house morning to night. Which kind of bestie be that? Show you the wine me. I be now yourself with the wine. Which kind of bestie is that? That's not bestie. You guys are just deceiving yourselves. A man and a woman cannot be bestie as we know bestie to be. Even if you are friends with someone, it's cool to be friends with someone and later marry them. But still, friendship is not the only ingredient you need. You know, go use friendship, put food for table. You know, Shana, so you go still marry that your friend. 12 na they broke, you go still marry them. Before you know, the problem will start. As you see married women going to beg single men, their exes for money. But now still that friendship, oh. You now marry your friend when the both of you are broke, and you now still go and beg your enemy, your ex that was beating you. So you go and beg him for money. And he invite you to his hotel room. So no, bro, sis, It doesn't work that way. So let's open our minds and be positive. Let's drop emotions. It will help us. Yes, you can marry your friend, but a man and a woman cannot be best friends. Even if a man and a woman can be best friends, friendship alone is not the only ingredient you need in a successful or near successful marriage or relationship. Thank you, guys.